Bibles to Acts chapter 12. We'll stand when you have it. But I hope everybody's had a good week so far.
Yeah.
Lord been good.
Oh, yes.
He's always good no matter what, right?
That's right.
Yeah. It don't matter what we're going through, what's happening. He's still good. You know, I was thinking today, I was kind of whining a little bit about having the headache and stuff. And I said, you know, there's people right now in this country, in this county, they're worried about what they're going to eat. And here I am whining about having a headache. You know, it's sometimes the Lord has to kind of put things in perspective for us. You know, that no matter how bad it is, there's always someone that has it worse. And no matter how bad it is, He's always good. Always good. But Acts chapter 12. Let's see. Verse 5 says, Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. Let's pray. Lord, just come to you tonight, just thankful, Lord, that for everything that you've already done for us this week, Lord. For every time that you've woke us up, for every time that you've put food on our tables, Lord, for the air that we breathe, Lord, for everything. Because you are good, Lord. And you're always good. And Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to come here tonight, Lord, to come together, and Lord, to lift you up. And Lord, just ask that you help us to put everything else aside, Lord, and lift you up, and to praise you, and to worship you, Lord, in spirit and truth, because you are worthy, Lord. No matter what, you are always worthy. Lord, we just ask that you have your way in this service tonight, Lord. And we just ask that you just pour your spirit out. Lord, we'll make sure that you get all the credit for everything that happens, because anything that does happen, you'll be the one that does it, Lord. And Lord, just again, we thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Just for being so good to us, Lord. I love you. And thank you. In your precious name, we pray. Amen. You see it? Like I said, I hope everybody's had a good week so far. And hope Miss Virgie hadn't worked too many hours.
No, I'm not working this week.
Oh, that's good. It's been a good week, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're now through next Wednesday morning.
It won't be too good of a week.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Not hard nobody to be with me.
Uh-oh.
Get different ones to work.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I hope everybody's had a good week. But this is familiar scripture, I'm sure, to most of us. This is where Peter is actually in jail. You know, if we truly study, you know, it's amazing how much the disciples and Paul, how much time they spend in jail.
Yeah.
All right, and you know, the one thing you'll never read though, that I've been able to find, is where they gave up. You know, even though they spent all this time being persecuted, knowing that their lives were on the line, and most of them gave their lives, okay, they never quit. They never stopped. Because they understood that it was about more than just them. Okay? It was about more than just them. But in verse 1 says, Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. Verse 2 says, And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And verse 3 says, And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. See, here Herod the king is. Well, he killed this one. All right? Well, the Jews were happy with it. So to please the people, what did he do? He went after the one that was really causing trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter. All right? You know, if we really look and we think back, the only reason why Christ was crucified, other than it had to happen,
Yeah.
was because that's what the people wanted.
Mm-hmm.
All right? That's what the people wanted. Everybody gave in to peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
All right? You know, how many times do we worry more about what people think, about what man thinks, than what God thinks?
Yeah.
Because if we'll spend our time trying to please God and not worrying about what man thinks,
Yeah.
then I guarantee you we'll be a whole lot better off.
Yeah.
Because one thing that you can always count on is no matter what we do, somebody's going to complain about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right?
That's right.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You know? You could, if we spend our lives trying to please other people all the time, we'll be miserable.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, and I'm not saying not do things for other people, because we're supposed to be servants. Okay, if we follow Christ and we are Christ-like, we're supposed to be servants. But we are supposed to make sure that the things we do are for Christ
Yeah.
and not for man. Okay? Because if we're doing it for man, then all we'll do is work for nothing. Because nobody will ever be happy. Somebody will always complain. You know, at my house, it doesn't matter what I do, somebody is not going to like it. All right? It don't matter. Somebody in my house is not going to like it. You know? So I just told them, guess what? I don't care if you don't like it. If that's what needs to be done, it's going to be done.
Yeah.
You know? So we got to worry more about what God thinks about things and pleasing Him
Yeah.
than what man does. But it said he took old Peter. And verse 4 says, and when he apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. He put 16 guys on him. All right? Now, yeah. I don't know how big of a guy Peter was.
Yeah.
Okay? But I dare to say that he was not a threatening enough man physically that he would want 16 guys on him. All right? 16 armed guys on him. But that is how much they feared what Peter could do through Christ. Because they had already seen the things that Christ had done through him. And they feared him because of that. But he got 16 people on him. 16 people. And to my knowledge, and this is the only time that Easter is actually mentioned in the Bible. Which actually means Passover.
Yeah.
But here he is, you know, they're going to hold him. They're going to hold him, then bring him forth to the people. You ever notice they always had to parade him in front of the people? Like Pilate with Christ.
Yeah.
You know? They always got to run them out there and make sure it's okay. Well, here's my thing. If you're the king, why you got to ask somebody else's opinion about it? Why are you worried about it? You know why? Because he knew it wasn't right. And he wanted someone else to help justify what he was doing. No different with Pilate. Hey, Pilate said, I find no fault in this man.
Yeah.
Right? But the people kept on. And the people kept on. So to appease man, we all know what happened. But he was going to bring him forth after the Passover. verse 5 says, Peter therefore was kept in the prison, but prayer is a very important verse in this scripture right here. Okay? And don't get me wrong, all scripture is important. Alright? But it says, Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. Not only were they praying, okay, but they didn't stop praying. Alright? I dare say, because it says that they prayed without ceasing, that they had already committed and said, look, we don't care what it takes. We're going to stay here. We're going to stay on our face. And we're going to love God until He does something. Brothers and sisters, I know that was a long time ago. But you know what? Things are still exactly the same.
Yeah.
If we will get serious, if we'll get serious with God and pray whatever it takes, for however long it takes, and do whatever it takes, then guess what? He's the same God. Okay? He will still do the same thing. Alright? But we have to do our part.
Yeah.
We have to do our part. They were willing to obviously stop everything else. It didn't matter. You know why? Because this was important to them.
Yeah.
This was important enough that nothing else mattered. When is the last time that something was so important to us that nothing else mattered?
Yeah.
That we were willing to do whatever it took to get God's attention on it. That we were willing to pray. That we were willing to fast. We were willing to do whatever it took to get God's attention. Because it mattered that much.
Yeah.
Because if we will, I can guarantee you that He will still respond. But verse 6 says, and when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping. Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Alright? I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Okay? I'll go ahead and admit that. But Herod had just put James to death, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't miss that part, right? He just put James to death. Okay? Here Peter is in prison.
Yeah.
Pretty much knows what his fate is. Okay? I mean, he just done it to James, so we pretty much know what's in store for old Peter here. He's got 16 guys on him.
Yeah.
Okay? And what's Peter doing? Yeah, he's like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Because I'm sure Peter was thinking, hey, even if God don't deliver me, guess what? It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter. He's still good. And I'm going to win either way. That old song, you know, I'm a winner either way. You know, that's what Peter had to be thinking because he was sleeping. He was sleeping. He definitely wasn't worried. All right, because I tell you what, you will not sleep if you're worried. Okay? It's not going to happen. And here he is. He's sleeping. Hey, you know, one thing about it, he didn't have to worry about anybody coming in and getting him because he had plenty of protection around him.
Yeah.
All right, as far as men, you know. So Peter, here he is sleeping. Yeah, and I think about old Peter. You know, all the things that Peter did. You know, he was a hothead. He denied Christ. He did all these things. And beyond all that, Christ didn't look at what Peter was.
Yeah.
He looked at what Peter was going to be through him.
Amen.
Because he said, on you, the rock, I will build my church. This is when he said, this is Right after he said, hey, get behind me, Satan. All right? So with all the things that Peter did, Christ saw through him.
Yeah.
Christ saw through all that as to what Peter could be and what Peter would be. Okay? That, brothers and sisters, is what Christ-like love is about. Okay? He didn't judge Peter on what he was. He just looked at what he was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, we need to start doing more of that. Okay? We need to stop worrying about what people have done.
Yeah.
Okay? We need to stop worrying about what people have done and just think about what Christ can do.
Yeah.
Okay? Because He can take the worst of the worst. Alright? All we got to do is look through the Bible.
Right.
He took the worst and did the most with them.
Yeah.
Alright? He's still the same God.
Yeah.
Okay? He's still the same God. So what does that mean? He can still take the worst
Yeah.
and do the most with them. But we got to stop looking at what they were
Yeah.
and looking at how big Christ is.
Yeah.
Okay? The hero Peter is just sleeping between two soldiers. Alright? You're like, hey, you guys do whatever you want to. Alright? I'm just going to take a little nap here. I don't know about any of you, but I just don't know if, I don't sleep a lot anyway. Alright? I don't sleep a lot anyway. But I just don't know if I could have slept in this situation. Okay? First off, it probably wasn't the best surroundings. You know, it's probably sitting on the ground or something very uncomfortable. Okay? And with everything else that was going on. So that, to me, says a lot about Peter.
Yeah.
And what his trust in God. But it says, he was sleeping between two soldiers, and he was bound. He had chains on.
Yeah.
And the guy's sleeping. Come on, it just gets better. Yeah. But he was bound with two chains. Now, again, I'm not sure about how big of a guy Peter was. But he's got 16 guys guarding him. He's bound with two chains. So they're obviously worried about what can happen.
Yeah.
All right? But it says, and the keepers before the door of the prison. They had guys everywhere. All right? They had guys everywhere. And had him chained. So, pretty much he's not going anywhere. So man thought. But verse 7 says, and behold, the angel of the Lord came unto him, and a light shined in the prison. Now wait, we got all these guys that we've already established that are around him. Okay? And a light shined down, and nobody saw it. Why? Because that's the way God works. Okay? That's the way God works. The same thing I always think about when I read the scripture, the Damascus Road experience with Paul.
Yeah.
Okay? Who was Saul at the time. He had men around him when the light shined down. They saw the light, but they never heard Christ speak.
Right.
Okay? Why? Because he revealed himself to them, but what he had to say wasn't for them.
Right.
Alright? The light was only for Peter.
Right.
Only for him. But it says, the light shined in the prison, and he smote Peter on the side. Peter was sleeping so sound
Yeah.
that the angel appeared, didn't even wake him up. Alright? He had to poke him. Get up. Get up. Have you ever had God to have to poke you a little bit? Huh?
Yeah.
Just some reason just wasn't getting it. Yeah. So I'm the only one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure. Because look, he has poked me a lot. Because see, I have this problem that I want to overthink things. I know you guys find that hard to believe with me, okay? But I do. I want to overthink things. I want to look through all the different situations that could happen, everything that might happen. So if this happens, let's do this, and let's do, and let's say that don't always work for God. Sometimes He like just do it because I see it. Okay? So He has to poke me a little bit every once in a while. But he had to poke him. He didn't even wake up. And He said, arise, up, quickly. All right? When God says get up and move quickly, He means get up and move quickly. Okay? At that point, you don't think about it, and you don't worry about what else is going to happen. But He said, get up. Let's go. And what happened? The chains fell off right there. There is not a chain made that Christ doesn't have the key to.
That's right.
All right? It doesn't matter what the sin is. It doesn't matter what else. Whatever the chain, Christ has the key to it. Okay? And we need to understand that and stop selling Him short on things. Okay? We need to understand that He holds the keys. Okay? It doesn't matter what it is. You know, Christians beat themselves up and talk themselves out of a great relationship with Christ more than anybody else. We don't even need the enemy's help. Because guess what? If we make a mistake, we will give up on us so fast that it's not even fun. Yeah. It happens to all of us. But we have to understand that He doesn't give up on us. Okay? It doesn't matter. When we shackle ourselves back, He still has the key. He still has the key. But they just fell right off. Now, there's no way that chains falling off didn't make a noise. Alright? There's no way. We done had the light shine. We done had the angel poke on Peter. And the chains fall off. And these guys that were sitting right here on Him hadn't seen or heard a thing. Nothing. But verse 8 says, and the angel said unto him, gird thyself and bind thy sandals. They had old Peter stripped down. They had him stripped down. You know, because that's what the enemy does. Okay? He will strip you down. He will humiliate you. And he will take everything that you ever thought about having. Because that's what he does. Then I thought about on the other hand of that. You know what? Sometimes God has to strip us of all the garbage. He does. Just so He can get us to do what He wants us to do. Because today more than ever, we have so much stuff. So much that takes up our time, that takes our time away from what we should be doing. And different things like that. And I'm just as guilty, if not more so than anybody else. Okay? You know, I'm the world's worst to say, well, I just don't have time. I just don't have time. It's not that we don't have time. It's not that I don't have time. Because we will always make time for what's important. Always. But sometimes He has to. He has to take all that stuff away. Just so that He can use us in the way that He needs to and wants to. But there He said, hey, get up. Put your stuff on. Get your sandals on. You know what? Because He was saying, you're going to do some walking. All right? You're about to move on. You're about to move on. They said, cast thy garment about thee, and what? Follow me. Follow me. Because as long as we will stay focused on Christ, as long as we will follow Him, no matter what's going on, He will always lead us through. Every single time. Without fail. without fail, because nobody can clear a path and nobody can clear a way like Christ can.
No.
Nobody. But he said, follow me. And verse 9 says, and he went out and he followed him. It was that simple. That simple. All he had to do was what he was told.
Yeah.
That simple. You know, how much easier would things truly be on us if we just did what Christ said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if we just did what he said. We didn't try to sway this way or go that way. If we just did what he said and followed him. How much easier would things be? Because I guarantee you, if Peter would have sidestepped one way or the other, things wouldn't have went the way that they did. But as long as he stayed the course and did what he was supposed to. They said he went out and he followed him, and wist not that it was true, which was done by the angel, but thought that he saw a vision. He thought he was dreaming.
Yeah.
He thought he was dreaming. Have you ever been at that point where you got woke up right quick, you know, and you're kind of cloudy headed, and you don't know if you're asleep or if you're awake or all that? I can only imagine that's where Peter thought he was at this point, because he was obviously pretty sound asleep, you know. But he was like, "Is this real? You know, is this real?" But he was thinking it was a dream. And there's no doubt that he could have probably have justified dreaming about getting out of prison. All right? But verse 10 says, and when they were past the first and the second ward, they came into the iron gate that leadeth into the city, which opened unto them of his own accord. They didn't even have to touch it. You notice that? Neither one of them even touched it. You know, as long as we will follow Christ and do what he says for us to do, stay focused on him, not venture to the left or to the right, guess what? He'll open all the doors.
Yes, it will.
He'll take care of all that. We don't have to do anything except what he asked us to do. It said, and they went out and passed through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. But you also, you know that this is the same thing that Christ does when he saves someone. Because when we are lost and in the world, guess what? We're in prison.
Yes.
There's no other explanation for it. We can try to say all this other stuff. We can try to do all this other stuff. We're in prison. We're in shackles. And we're a prisoner to the enemy who has guards on us. Okay? But Christ, then and still to this day, can deliver whoever. It doesn't matter. He said they went on out. And the angel just left him. Why? So he'd done what he needed to do. At that point, Peter needed to go forward. Okay? But verse 11 says, and Peter was come to himself through all this, and he Peter's like, finally, whoa, okay. Maybe it was the brisk night air or something, you know. But he finally like, whoa, wait a minute. This is real. And he said, now I know for surety that the Lord hath sent his angel and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod and from all expectation of the people of the Jews. You ever sit back and go, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, the Lord just delivered me from that. You know, wow. And just kind of stand in amazement at it because you didn't have to do anything. Peter didn't do a thing except what he was told. He just got up and moved. That was it. But have you ever just sat there in awe because of something that God did? that you didn't have anything to do with whatsoever. Because He never ceases to amaze. Ever. He said, look, I know that He's delivered me from Herod and from the Jews. Because the Jews are ultimately the ones that would have called for His death. But verse 12 says, and when He had considered the thing, he had to sit and ponder on it for a minute. You know, because sometimes it's just a little overwhelming. It is. You know, when God does something like that, you're like, hey, He just saved my life. Because I was going to die. Sometimes you just have to think about it for a second. He said He came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. These are the ones that were praying for Him. All right, there was a lot of them. Because guess what? We're stronger together.
Oh, yeah.
We are. All right, we're stronger together. But they were here praying. Praying for old Peter. You know, it had to make Peter feel good to know that he had people out there praying for him. Have you ever been going through something and it just felt good to know that somebody was praying for you? That somebody cared enough to take that kind of time out and just pray for you? Brothers and sisters, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay? It is. If one of us is hurting, all of us should be hurting.
Right.
Okay? If one of us is praising, all of us should be praising.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here for. And so they were gathered together there praying. Nothing else. They were there just to do business. Okay? And they were obviously of one mind and one accord. Right? Because that's what they were all doing. They were all praying. Because they had one thing. One thing. But verse 13 says, and as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a damsel came to hearken named Rhoda. I probably pronounced that wrong. I always do. Did I pronounce it right?
Right.
Hey, it's the first time for everything, right? All right, Rhoda. But verse 14 says, and when she knew Peter's voice, she opened not the gate for gladness, but ran in and told how Peter stood before the gate. She recognized his voice, but she didn't let him in. She was so excited.
Yeah.
All right, she was so excited at what God had done that she didn't even let him in. She forgot all about it. She just had to go tell everybody. You ever been so excited for something that God did that you just had to go tell somebody? You know?
Yeah.
We should constantly be telling people how good God is to us. Because guess what? He's always good to us.
Yeah.
Always. 24/7. He is good to us. But she just left Peter standing there. Out in the weather. You know, I don't know if it was winter time, but still. Alright? He was out in the weather. Just left him there. Went running. In verse 15 says, and they said unto her, thou art mad. I always had to chuckle at this a little bit, you know. Because here they are. It said that they were praying without ceasing. Okay? Then later on it says that they were gathered together praying. So they were obviously pretty serious about it. And praying about it. And they didn't even believe that God had done what they were praying for.
Yeah.
And Peter standing there. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. You know? But they were seriously praying about it. And here they are. They're like, you're crazy. He's not out there. You know, we've been praying for it. I understand. But have you ever been praying for something? God do it, and you just not believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Come on. Yeah, come on. They didn't believe her. They didn't believe her. You know, I wonder if they didn't think it had been long enough. I wonder if they didn't truly believe that God could do what they were asking for. I don't know, because it didn't say. But there had to be a reason that they didn't believe that Peter was standing out there.
Maybe it's because it's the woman told him.
Maybe it's because the woman told him. I wasn't going to say that, because I hadn't even thought about it. I hadn't even thought about it. Maybe so. Yeah. But they thought that she was crazy. But it says she constantly affirmed them that it was even so. And they said it's his angel. They were saying it's his ghost. He was dead. All right? But she kept telling them. You know, sometimes we just have to keep telling people. And we have to keep telling people. And we have to keep telling people. You know what? No matter what they say, no matter what they do, we just have to keep on. And we have to keep on. But they're saying, hey, it's ghost. Verse 16 says, but Peter continued knocking. And I always think about the scripture where Christ said, I stand at the door and knock. Okay? And it always breaks my heart to think of how long he had to stand and knock before I answered.
Yeah.
But it also, on the other hand, makes me so thankful for his patience, for his love, for his grace,
Yeah.
and for his mercy, for him to continue to stand there because he loved me that much. When anyone else would have walked away. But Peter he continued. You know what? Sometimes we just got to continue. All right? Sometimes we just have to continue. Continue. Because Christ never said that this thing was going to be easy.
Yeah.
No. Matter of fact, he said it wasn't. All right? He said, hey, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to do some things. And people are not going to like it. Because if we're doing what Christ wants us to do, guess what? The world's not going to like it.
No.
They're not. But sometimes we just have to continue on.
Yeah.
We have to just keep pushing forward.
Yep.
Because he said it wouldn't be easy, but he did say it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that if he said it'd be worth it, it'll be worth it beyond our wildest dreams.
It will.
But he said he continued knocking. Guess what? His persistence paid off. And when they had opened the door, they saw him and they were astonished. They were astonished that God had done what they had been praying for. Yeah, have you ever prayed for something, God give it to you, and you'd be like, whoa, I was just kidding. Huh? You ever had that happen? Yeah. Be praying for it. So we have to be really careful what we pray for. Because guess what? God might just give it to us.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why I tell you guys, it scares me to death to pray for patience. Because boy, I've seen what he's done to people. Okay? I've seen what he's done to people that have prayed for patience. But we have to be careful because guess what? He might just give it to us.
Yeah.
All right? Call our bluff right out. All right? But here it was. They were astonished. You know, why should it ever amaze us that the one that created everything can do anything?
Yes, that is.
Why? Because he is God. He is capable above everything to do all things.
Yes, he is.
Just because we can't wrap our human minds around it, don't mean that he can't do it.
That's right.
But verse 17 says, but he beckoning unto them with the hand to hold their peace, declared unto him. They got excited at that point. Okay? They got excited. Once everything kind of wore off, they got excited. Okay? He's like, calm down a little bit. Let's hold their peace. He declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. All right? First thing he did was started bragging on Christ. All right? When Christ does something for us, why is that not the first thing that we do? Why is that not the first thing that we do? Start telling everybody what he did for us. Because that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because there's no one or thing worthy other than him, no matter what. So why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we tell everybody? But he just told them, said, hey, this is what happened. And he said, go show these things unto James and the brethren. And he departed and went another place. He said, hey, go tell everybody. Go let them know what Christ can do.
Yeah.
All right? That no matter where you're at, what's going on, even if it looks like there's no way out, Christ is more than able, more than capable to take care of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right? Always. Peter said, go tell everybody. Let them know. Let them know that it doesn't matter. You know, Christ is still today, May 31st, 2017, more than able, more than capable, and big enough to take care of whatever we need, whatever we're going through. He is still capable, He is still able,
Yeah.
and He is still big enough to save beyond all. All right? Because there is no one that's out of His reach still yet today. And we have to understand that. That's why, no matter what we're going through, no matter how much we pray for that lost loved one, that we need to continue to pray without ceasing. Because just because God doesn't do it on our time, doesn't mean that He's not going to do it if we will just stay faithful. If we will just be willing to do whatever it takes and just trust that He can and He will, according to His will. Yeah, I got a little note here I made to myself a long time ago. It said, God wants warriors, not whiners.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the truth. He wants us to be warriors. He wants us to be prayer warriors.
Yeah.
And He wants us to trust that He is still, today, who He says He is.
Yeah.
And He wants us to believe and have faith. See, that's the thing. Is have the faith. Okay? That He can still do all things. All things. If we will just trust Him that He can. If,